What's good, fellow outcasts and other rejects? It's Nier here, and welcome to WTC, the Anime Outcast. First off, if you're new here, we upload anime what-ifs based on My Hero and other shows alike. Secondly, did you know 80% of our audience isn't subscribed? So, if you want us to continue making good content, make sure to like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. Slime started oozing out of the sewer grate, the gross liquid constantly growing as a figure started forming above the grate.
Why didn't I know that man was in town? Damn it! I could have gone away if it wasn't for him!
A sludge monster said as he looked around the dark tunnel before spotting Itsuki. The boy wasn't even paying any mind as he simply continued reading his book. The villain had a sinister look as he launched his way to the unsuspecting boy. His slimy body dripped its ooze as he flew through the air.
Sorry, kid. I'll be taking that body of yours!
The man yelled, when suddenly a drop of slime landed on Itsuki's book. In an instant, the entire tunnel had a blistering cold wind waft through it. The winds were strong enough to push the slime villain back onto the wall. The Arctic frost seemed to come from Itsuki in waves. The boy looked furious as he now looked at his green-stained book. The slime villain felt his body starting to freeze over just by being near the boy. Why do you villains always have to ruin things? The boy asked monotonously as his eyes looked over at the man, seemingly staring into his soul. The boy slowly held out his hand to the villain. Freeze, he announced, as a burst of Arctic frost shot from his hand like a beam. In an instant, the villain was frozen in a block of dark blue ice. The tunnel walls were covered in ice as blue tint was given to the area. You really did a number on him, kid, a deep voice said from the entrance. Midoriya quickly looked over, ready to defend himself again. It was a tall man with pitch black hair. He was simply standing there, looking at Itsuki's handiwork. Who are you? The boy asked, still not allowing his guard to drop. Chill. I'm a hero from overseas. I felt a strong cold coming from here, so I thought it was a villain. The man walked closer and knocked against the ice villain. Solid. Not bad. You still need improvement. You're lacking in control. Look at the tunnel. It's frozen over, and the structural integrity of the walls are compromised. Also, this incapacitation of yours might be solid, but still has its weak points. What do you mean? Suddenly the man slammed his fist onto the frozen sludge. The ice shattered everywhere as the slime covered the walls. See? It's weak, the hero said before looking at his fist, which was now bleeding. Itsuki scratched his head, surprised that the prison was easily destroyed. However, upon looking closer, the boy noticed traces of blood between the frost shards. What do you mean weak? Your fist is bleeding, the boy pointed out, as the man was trying to hide his fist behind his back. Who are you anyway? Itsuki asked, with a scowl look of annoyance. The man ignored his pulsating fist and tried to look tough in front of the boy. The name's Ice Devil. Unfortunately, most know me as Grey Fullbuster. Why my hero name hasn't caught on, I have no idea. Itsuki was about to say something, but then noticed that the slime villain had escaped while they were talking. Look what you did, you idiot! Now he's on the loose! Midoriya shouted, just as an explosion went off a couple blocks away. In an instant, Itsuki rushed off, freezing the path in front of him and using it to ski off faster. Gray, however, stood behind, took hold of one of the broken off pieces of ice. How is it possible for a normal ice quirk user to make something so dense and cold? The man asked himself, inspecting the dark crystal. Itsuki soon found himself at the entrance of an alleyway, where a raging inferno could be seen enveloping the area. On the other side of the alley was a crowd forming, while the slime monster could be seen in the middle of all this. The villain had a hostage, a blonde boy who was being strangled. Wait, it's Kacchan! Izuku gasped as a sudden wave of heat rushed over him. His body felt weak, but he knew right now it wasn't the time to back off. The boy remembered all the time Katsuki helped him with his bullies. Now it's time to return the favor. Instincts took over Midoriya as the boy rushed into the Hellflame. In an instant, the boy shot his hand forward in an attempt to freeze the villain, but it did not want to work. The boy felt his breath leave him as his body's strength seemed non-existent.
Well, well, isn't it the Frost Boy? Seems like someone can handle the heat!
The slime villain cackled as he watched Izuku fall onto his knees, clutching his chest as pain resonated through him. The slime villain swiped his arm, flinging the boy onto the wall.
That's payback!
Katsuki yelled out in a muffled cry as he saw Izuku being flown away. The young blonde knew well about Izuku's weakness. Here he was, rushing into a place that's deadly to him. Midoriya shakenly stood up. Blood dripped from his head as he locked eyes with Katsuki. The boy tiredly stuck out his hand towards Bakugo. Freeze! The black boy yelled out, pouring as much energy as he could into the attack, freezing the slime covering Katsuki's hand.
That was a pitiful attack!
The slime monster quickly went to fling Izuku once again, only for a large explosion to come bursting from inside of him. I wasn't aiming at you, Izuku said weakly. In an instant, the villain went flying back as he saw the blonde quickly land in the front of the Frost user.
What the hell are you doing here, Snowflake?
Katsuki yelled out, his palms crackling with explosions, as his eyes didn't leave the villain's gaze for even a second. Are you seriously that blind? I'm saving your weak ass, Izuku jokes, coughing from all the smoke. Katsuki wanted to retort, but the villain rushed towards them.
Get back, you extra!
Bakugo yelled out, sending a massive explosion barreling down the alleyway, engulfing the villain, but the explosion was heading towards the crowd. Ice make, ice wall! Gray announced, creating a wall of ice to block the explosion.
Sorry for making you kids wait so long,
another voice said, as a large figure of All Might appeared from the smoke.
Texas, smash!
The man yelled out, causing a tornado to be formed within the alley. The wind pressure was so intense that Izuku and Katsuki were nearly pulled in, but luckily, Gray grabbed the two. As soon as the tornado ended, the open sky soon got filled with rain, putting out the fires. He changed the weather, Izuku awed wearily, still tired from the exposure to the heat. Huh, show off, Gray grumbled as he let go of the boys. Izuku leaned towards Katsuki for support, and the blonde allowed it, as he was still awestruck with the sheer power of All Might. The number one hero was about to say something to the boys, but he was suddenly surrounded by reporters and cameras. The two teens took this as their chance to escape before getting scolded. Gray shook his head at the bulky hero before walking off himself. Hopefully I'm not too late now. A ways away were the two teens. Katsuki was helping Izuku walk his way home.
Why the fuck would you jump in a fire like that?
Sounds like you're ungrateful. The young blonde simply growled lowly as he decided it would be best to let his friend rest. Suddenly, a wave of dust and wind appeared in front of the two.
I am here! It seems I was able to catch up with you!
The large man announced with a grin, until blood splattered out of his mouth. Symbol of peace lost his intimidating form for a rather skinny, frail one. What? The two burst out in surprise. A man who didn't look like All Might at all was now standing in front of the teens. All Might was about to say something when Gray instantly appeared behind them. I hate to interrupt you, oh so powerful number one, but I'll be taking Frosty with me. The black-haired man simply placed his hand on Izuku, and in an instant, the two disappeared. Katsuki was shocked but All Might merely ignored the number 1 from Europe.
Don't worry. That is a hero from overseas. He wanted to speak with that young man while I, on the other hand, have something important to discuss with you.
A block away was Izuku in gray. The young boy was seated on the pavement when the hero simply stood in front of him, arms crossed over his chest. What's the point of having nearly unbreakable ice when you put yourself in those types of situations? The man scowled, but Midori didn't listen, way more fascinated by the clouds in the sky. It's pitiful, isn't it? I was gifted with an incredible ability to control ice, but any source of extreme heat like that weakens me. How will I be a hero if I'll be useless at saving people from burning buildings, even crash sites? I got power, I know that, but you need skill! That's mainly why I wanted to talk to you. Our abilities are sort of the same. I was thinking, if I trained you in my ice make style, that might be enough. Ray looked down at his fist, clenching it tightly. Enough for what? Ah! The man quickly snapped back to reality, laughing a bit. Don't worry about it, kid. Now I'll be training you tomorrow at the alley you were just in. I believe that's the perfect place to teach you control. Izuku sighed. He didn't even agree to this. Ray turned around, looking for a piece of paper. Say, kid, you know where I can find an apartment complex in Stafu Prefecture is? Specifically apartment 327. That's my address? What do you want there? How do you even have that? The boy shakingly got to his feet, only to fall down again. It's my brother's place. And I've been working abroad for a while, and well, we decided to come visit his family over there. Did you say your address? Thanks, Outcasts and Rejects, for watching till the end of the video. This video gets 80 likes in 2 weeks. We'll continue the series. Other than that, if you have any questions about the series or channel, sound off in the comments, or feel free to join our Discord. Now that's it for Nier Ven. Signing off, you guys have a great day.